Now we're going to color this row of food pairs, the little salt and pepper and bacon and toast and so forth. And I'm just going to go through and quickly talk about each one as I color them. It's pretty basic coloring since these are smaller shapes, so there's not a lot of blending to be done, just a little bit here and there. So we're going to start with our salt and pepper, and I'm using two colors from the basic set, which are the C3 and the C7, and these are 4 apart, which should blend okay, but you know, some people like their grays to be blended a little more. If you really work at it though, I think you can achieve a pretty nice blend. So I'm going to start with the C3, and that's what I'm going to use for the salt and pepper. We're going to cover that with little glossy accents to give it a little shine, like it's a little shiny stainless top. And then for my pepper shaker, I'm going to go ahead and color him in with the C3 as well. Then I'm going to use C7, and I'm just going to put a little bit of C7 right in the corner, right under where the lid is, and right down this side. And then I'm going to take the C3 again and slowly work this in, and just the more real small little brush strokes you take, the more you can get a better blend on it. And if you'd like, you can go over these a little bit more as well. The next is the eggs and bacon, and for the bacon I'm going to use E37 and E31, and I'm just going to make color here without blending, just each of these little stripes on the bacon. And then for the egg yolk, I'm going to use YR15, one of the colors of the month, and the Y15. And this is where, again, you can use the YR15 and a yellow with that. So I'm going to color that yolk yellow, and then I'm just going to put a little bit of the YR15 around the edge, and then blend those two together. Work them together. For the toast, I'm gonna have, it's gonna be more bread than toast, because I'm gonna leave their face a little lighter here. My daughter likes to put peanut butter and jelly on them sometimes, and you could probably use the YR15 for peanut butter. And then the E33 will just be the crust. For the cupcake, I'm going to do sort of a quicker coloring technique for the bottom of the cupcake, and then I'm going to take the E33 and I'm just going to go along these lines here where the little folds in the cupcake liner are, and then right under the top, just like that. And then I'm going to take E31, and I'm not really blending as much as just coloring over. So it leaves the lines a little more pronounced. For the top of the cupcake or muffin, we're going to use R20 and R22. So we'll start with R20 on the top here, and then R22. And then come back with R20 and blend in here on this side. And then for the coffee mug, we're going to use the same that we used for the vase, and we're going to use BG10 and BG72. And we're going to color this first. We'll put a little coffee in this cup in a minute. But it'll be a dark brown. so it can cover up any of the blue that we want to touch up. And then for the BG72, we're just going to make some real small strokes here, have a little dark on this side, and maybe along the top and the edge. So you can like that, and then BG10 again to blend. The last step will be to add the coffee, and I'm going to use the E37. The last step will be to just color the hearts, and I'm going to use R27 for this, and I'm not going to use any blending. I'm going to use some stickles on a few of them later. If you wanted, you could use the R22 if you wanted a blended look on any of these hearts. And there we have everything colored for this card. The last thing we have to color is for our next card, and it's just this little stamp with these 3 little jars of baby food on them. And the coloring is pretty simple and straightforward. I think the fun part here is when we add the glossy accents and make the jars shiny, and then this cute little bow with this. I love this new ribbon that I have. It's a faux canvas, it's called, by May Arts, and it makes a nice pretty bow, I think. So we'll begin by coloring, and all the tops of the jars we're going to do using the C3 and the C7 like we did for the pepper shaker, I guess, on the last card. So we are going to just color the lids with the C3. And I have used all the Express It paper for all 3 of these different items that we've colored so far today. And then you're going to add just a little bit of the C7, and you can come in some on these like lines from the jar, and it will actually create a nice little blend, I think. And then the final step will be the C3 again, blending those 2 together. And again, working lots of small little strokes will get you a nice blend. And just remember to think about it like you're pushing the color from one spot to the other. So the tops of all of our jars. For the peas, we are going to use a yellow-green. I don't think these are the colors of most of the jars of baby food peas I've seen, but we want this card to be appealing. So we are going to first use YG03. And then we'll use YG09, and I'm gonna put the shadow just on both edges here for all of these jars. And I think I might use the slightly darker green to color in these peas, and don't worry about coloring on the lines. It's such a small area. You're just giving the impression of what it is. For my jar of love, I am going to use I'm going to use 2 pinks. You could use red if you wanted, but I'm going to do pink, and I'm going to do R20 and R22. That was R20, and now with R22. And I'm going to do the small little heart here with the R22 while I have it. And then the blending with the R20. For the jar of carrots, I'm going to use the color of the month, YR15, along with the other orange we used on the other card, which is YR07. And I'm going to do the carrot also with this color, which is the YR07. And then the YR15 again for that. And then just to do the top of the carrot, I'm going to do that with the YG09. The last thing I'm going to do here to finish this off is I'm going to try to highlight these words a little bit and make them pop a little more. So I'm going to take the BG10 and I'm just going to make a little swipe across each of the words. It'll blend into the paper a little bit and lighten up. And there we go. We'll add a little glossy accents to it when we go to put it on our card.